Okay. In your book, Capitalism and Freedom, which I've read cover to cover,
Gee, thank you.
you presented the thesis that capitalist society was a prerequisite for a free and democratic society. But how does this fit with the example of South Africa, a nation which fits your criteria for a capitalist society? It has relatively unregulated free enterprise, market diversification, and multinational participation, but in no way could be considered free with apartheid discrimination and forced labor by the passbook law.
I'm afraid you read the book from cover to cover, but not line by line. Because you will find that the statement in question is that a free market economy is a necessary, but not a sufficient condition for a free society. I have never argued that it's a sufficient condition, only that it's a necessary condition. So I said in there, I gave examples of societies which predominantly relied on market economies, on market mechanisms for their economy, but yet were not by any stretch of the imagination free societies. So I don't believe that's a contradiction. I think free societies are very rare things. And most societies at most time in human history have not been free. So I don't know any simple formula to produce a free society. I only know that if you don't have a market economy, you won't have a free society.
I'd like to follow up. How do you see the role of the multinational in a system like South Africa?
Well, I believe we have to separate issues. I believe that, on the whole, the blacks in South Africa have benefited greatly from the multinationals in South Africa so far as their economic condition is concerned. You know, I want to say something to you people. This is Stanford, and I want to tell you something that it seems to me about the multinationals in South Africa. I think you missed a great opportunity here in this university. A while ago, as I understand it, there was a commission here that was investigating the question of the cost to Stanford in endowment, income, if it were required to restrict its investment to enterprises that had no connection with South Africa. Is that right? Wasn't there such a group that investigated it? And as I understand it, they came out with a conclusion that it would cost something like, I think it was $300 or $400 per student per year. And then they made the wrong choice. What they should have done is they should have said to the students, any students who want to pay $300 or $400 more a year, we will segregate that part of the portfolio and invest it in this way, not going into South Africa. And of course, they should have offered the same opportunity to the faculty. Because the problem is, it's too cheap to get your gratifications at somebody else's expense. You pay for them. See, the real, if I may again digress, I think one of the real objections people have to the market system, the real reason why the market has a bad press and there's an anti-market mentality, is because a market makes people pay for what they get. It makes people responsible. And of course, everybody would rather have somebody else pay for them. So if you go to this case, I remember when I was in South Africa, I've been there, I'm surprised I haven't been picketed on that account. I spent a day with the leader of the Zulu tribe, a very intelligent, thoughtful, far-sighted black man who was there, Gacha Buthelezi. An extraordinarily impressive person, and I have seldom spent a day that I learned more from. If you asked him that question, there's no doubt what he would say. And what he did say, what he has said in public speeches, that the way to help South Africa is not to cut off the capital, which provides the opportunity for expansion and for employment for the blacks, but that's not the way to help South Africa. That's not the way to help the blacks.
He changed his mind a month ago.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He made a speech of a different kind a month ago. He said he had lost a great deal of hope in the possibility of having the kind of multinational, multiracial society that he had been expecting to have.
That's because it's a capital crime to say explicitly that you supported
Well, I don't believe, as I say, the speeches that he gave some earlier time are available on the record for you to read and to look at. It's, in any event, as I say, I do not believe it is an issue. I think it's an issue that each one of us must face separately. I think each of us should be willing to put his own money where his mouth is.